There are over, 300 animatronics in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe now, and at this point there are so many rabbit variants it's hard to keep track. But somehow, despite all the chaos, FNAF still has some of the most iconic horror character designs ever made. And at the same time, some of them make you question what was Scott even thinking when he made this one. So today, we're going to go through the 5 best and 5 worst FNAF character designs of all time. Best, Springtrap. Springtrap is probably the single most important design in the entire franchise. Before him, the animatronics were creepy because they looked haunted. Springtrap is different. This thing looked dead. The torn suit, the exposed wires, the rotting green color, and then you notice the human corpse inside. That's the part that changed everything, because suddenly FNAF stopped being evil Chuck E. Cheese robots and became body horror. The design tells a story entirely without a word. You can see what happened to William Afton. You can see his spring locks crushing him. And the best part, Springtrap barely even moves. He just stares. There's something deeply wrong about him in a way that most characters try too hard to achieve. He feels real. Worst, Music Man. Okay, I know some people love Music Man, and I like him too as a character, but his design is horrible. Like, look at me in the eyes and tell me this thing doesn't look ridiculous. He's a giant spider clown drummer with tiny cymbals on his knees. Like, why does he have so many teeth and why are his hands so tiny? The problem with Music Man is that he stops being scary the second you actually look at him. Like, he crosses the line from unsettling into what am I even looking at? And FNAF works best when the designs feel grounded enough that you can imagine them existing in real life. But Music Man just feels like Scott slipped on a wheel which labeled animal, instrument, like nightmare fuel, and somehow landed all 4. I will admit though, hearing him crawl through the vents and security bridge is horrifying, but visually, it just looks really bad as an animatronic design. Best, Nightmarian. Nightmarian is pure nightmare fuel. This is one of the few FNAF characters that feels like less of an animatronic and more like an actual demon. The black tentacle arms, the impossible thin body, the white mask. It basically is if sleep paralysis became sentient. What makes this design genius is how unnatural it is. Most animatronics in FNAF still resemble mascots, but Nightmarian barely even resembles something that should physically exist. And the long striped limbs stretched across the room in FNAF 4 are horrifying because your brain can't process the proportions correctly. It feels wrong to look at, and horror thrives on things that feel wrong. Very good animatronic overall. Worst, Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy isn't scary, he's just irritating, and honestly that might be worse. This kid looks like he was designed specifically to ruin your day. The round face, the weird smile, the beady little eyes. He looks like a haunted toddler that steals batteries, bro. And the biggest issue is he doesn't even feel like he belongs to the other animatronics. The originals had this uncanny restaurant mascot vibe. Balloon Boy just looks like an evil child. And somehow this tiny little goblin became one of the most hated characters in the franchise because all he does is laugh and steal your flashlight power, which honestly is kind of impressive. I hate Balloon Boy. Bad design. Best, the puppet. The puppet is terrifying in the smartest way possible. Unlike the other animatronics, it doesn't even rely on sharp teeth or giant claws. It's the face. That blank white face. The black hollow eyes with tears running down them. It looks emotionless and emotional at the same time, which somehow makes it even scarier. And the fact that it slowly rises out of the box while the music winds down. Peak FNAF atmosphere. The puppet feels supernatural, not robotic. Definitely overall a very good design, one of my favorites. Worst, Scrap Trap. Seriously, what happened here? How do we go from Springtrap to this? Scrap Trap looks like Springtrap if you're paying for a cheap plastic surgery. The giant forehead, the weird human skull, the peanut-shaped head. The scariest thing about Scrap Trap is trying to understand the anatomy. Nothing lines up, the proportions feel bizarre. Instead of looking like a decayed corpse trapped in a suit, it looks like an ugly rabbit. Which sucks because the concept should have been amazing. A more destroyed version of Springtrap sounds awesome, but the execution somehow removed everything that made Springtrap intimidating. He went from horrifying to monster to moldy raisin, bro. This is a bad design. Best, Foxy. Foxy's iconic, obviously. Straight up, this dude carried early FNAF YouTube. The torn up Pirate Fox design is perfect because it balances creepy and cool. The hook hand, the exposed endoskeleton, the glowing eyes. Everything about Foxy screams danger, and unlike the other animatronics, Foxy feels aggressive. He doesn't slowly stare at you, he runs at you. That alone made him terrifying back in 2014. People genuinely panicked hearing those footsteps coming down the hallway. And visually, he looks exactly like what an animatronic should look like. Broken, damaged, unstable. There's a reason Foxy became one of the faces of the franchise almost immediately. Just a good animatronic design. Worst, Electro Bab. I genuinely forgot this character existed, and honestly, I think Scott did too. Electro Bab looks like a background prop that accidentally became sentient. There's almost nothing memorable about this design except the fact it looks unfinished. It's just tiny baby. That's it. No unique silhouette, no interesting features, no scary elements. The problem with this forgettable horror character is that horror needs memorable visuals. You want people to instantly recognize a character. Nobody sees Electrobab and thinks, oh yeah, that's a terrifying one. No, they think, this just looks like ass, bro. Not a good character overall. Best. Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy's a perfect FNAF design. Not the flashiest, not the most detailed, but absolutely the most effective. What makes Golden Freddy terrifying is the unnatural stillness. He just appears, slumped over, motionless, like a dead thing pretending to be alive. The empty black eyes, the ghostly presence. Golden Freddy feels cursed, like your game isn't supposed to be showing you this character. And back in the early FNAF days, he created so many rumors and mysteries because nobody understood what he even was. A ghost, hallucination, a secret animatronic. That mystery made the design legendary because sometimes the scariest thing isn't what you see, it's what you can't explain. No design has ever fully matched that feeling since. Worst, JJ. And finally, JJ, or as most people call her, Blue Balloon Boy. That's literally the biggest problem. This design feels completely pointless. It's just Balloon Boy but blue. That's the character. That's the entire design philosophy. Imagine being introduced to one of the biggest horror franchises ever and your whole existence is basically, what if Balloon Boy was colder? There's no unique identity here, and unlike recolored characters in fighting games, FNAF designs usually at least try to add something interesting. JJ just kinda exists. She doesn't look scary, she doesn't look memorable. Somehow this tiny blue creature became one of the weirdest additions of the franchise, not because she's horrifying, but because nobody fully understands why she exists in the first place. But still, the craziest thing about FNAF is that even the bad designs are memorable. Like, yeah, some of them look absolutely ridiculous, but that weirdness is part of why this franchise survived for so long. Because nobody forgets these characters. Not Springtrap, not Foxy, not the Puppet, and unfortunately not Balloon Boy either. So let me know your picks for the best and worst FNAF designs, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe before William Afton comes back, because somehow he always does, remember.